Gopi Gita, the Gopi song of separation, with commentary by Srimad Bhaktivedanta and Narayana Gosvami Maharaja. Excerpt from verse 3. Holding Giriraj Govardhan on the tip of your finger, you protected us from Indra's inundation of rain, fierce tempest, and furious hurling of thunderbolts. In fact, you not only protected us, you overwhelmed us with great happiness at that time. Verse 3.
visha-jaläpyayäd vyäla-räkshasädvarsha-märutäd vaidyutänalät vrisha-jaläpyayäd vishvatobhayad rishabhte vayam rakshitamoh.
Translation. O crest jewel among men, time and again you saved us, cowherd maidens, from the grip of death, from the poisonous water of Kalya-hrid in the Yamuna, where the serpent Kalya resided, from the python Aghasura, and from the rain and terrible storm of Indra. You saved us from the whirlwind demon Trinavrata, from the firing of Indra's thunderbolts, from the dreadful forest fire, from the bull demon Arishtasura, from the son of Maya named Vyomasura, and from every other kind of threat. Bhav Prakashika Vritti. Weeping as they perform their kirtan, the gopis tell Krishna, in the past you protected us from various kinds of dangers and from the devouring mouth of death. You rescued us so many times. So why are you now killing us with the arrows of your glance? You are making us burn in the fire of love-filled desire and in the fire of painful feelings of separation from you. Now nothing can protect us. What, then, was the use of protecting us before? If someone plants a tree, that person develops some attachment for it as it grows. Even if it is poisonous and he is advised by others to cut it down, he will hesitate to do so. It seems that you have forgotten this principle. You are so cruel-hearted and merciless that you are cutting us down, although previously you protected us and watched us grow. Visha-jaläpyayäd. Visha-jala means poisonous water. The gopis refer to the serpent Kalya, who poisoned the waters of the Yamuna river. They say, with his virulent vapors, Kalya polluted the water of Kalya-hrid, making it boil and foam, but you protected us from that danger. When Sri Krishna jumped into the poisoned water of the Yamuna river, it appeared that he himself was dying. Why then do the gopis say that he protected them? All the boys and calves had been playing on the bank of the Yamuna at Kalya-hrid, and from the mere smell of that poison they fell to the ground as if dead. Krishna immediately restored their life by his glances, which are full of life-giving nectar. Determined to send Kalya away, he then jumped into the Yamuna. The gopis continue, if you had died, we would have also died, and Nanda Baba, Mother Yashoda, and all the Vrajvasis would have died. To protect us all, you subdued Kalya, and he left this place. The water became pure once more, and everyone was safe. Vyäla-räkshasäd. Vyäla means snake, and here the gopis refer to Aghasura, the great snake demon who laid on the road with his mouth wide open, waiting to swallow Krishna. The calves and the cowherd boys were running and frolicking here and there, and gradually, as they played, they came closer and closer to the demon. "What a magnificent cave!" they exclaimed when they saw Agha's open mouth. "It looks just like a serpent, but it can't be. No serpent could be that huge. Still, if it is a serpent, there is no harm in going inside. If he tries to swallow us all, then Krishna will kill him immediately. And if it is a cave, then obviously there is no harm. We should go in and find out." Krishna was watching all this from afar. "Friends, oh friends, don't go in," he cried out. But they did not hear him and did not look back to check with him. They walked into the mouth of the demon, who kept his mouth open as he sat and waited for Krishna to enter. That day was Baldeva's birthday, so he had not gone out to herd the calves with Krishna. His mother, Rohini Devi, had kept him at home and told him, "Today we will perform ceremonies for purification, give cows in charity, and busy ourselves for the occasion." Shri Krishna creates situations like this when it is necessary for the performance of his sweet pastimes. If Baldeva had been with him, he could not have performed the Brahma Vimohan Leela, his divine pastime of bewildering Brahma. The pastime with Aghasura was the prelude to this pastime, which took place later that same day. Baladeva would not have been able to keep the event secret. He would certainly have told Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba that Krishna had expanded himself into all the cowherd boys and calves, and then all of Raja would have come to know of it. If this had happened, a myriad of loving exchanges could not have taken place. When Krishna killed Aghasura, Brahma saw the glaring effulgence of Aghasura's live hair come out from Aghasura's head and remain suspended in the sky. Then, when Krishna came out of Aghasura's mouth, Brahma saw that light descend and enter Shri Krishna's lotus feet. Brahma was astonished. "How is this possible?" he thought. Others intently tried to attain liberation without success, but this demon attained it just by taking Krishna within his mouth with the purpose of killing him. Brahma then witnessed another of Krishna's wonderful pastimes. He, assuming the forms of all the calves and cowherd boys. Krishna's primary objective in performing this transcendental pastime was not to bewilder Brahma. Rather, within his heart, he was aware that many of his elderly gopis wanted to nourish him as their son, and that many of the cows wanted to nurture him as their calf, and he thus made an arrangement to fulfill their desire. This was one of the several reasons that his Yog Maya potency inspired Brahma to witness the Aghasura pastime. Now, in Gopi Gita, the gopis say, "If all the boys had died within the body of Aghasura, everyone else in Vraja would have died as well, including us. Why did you bother protecting us then, if you want to kill us now?" The word visha-jaläpyayäd in this verse refers to Indra, the king of heaven. Varsha means rainfall, Marut means tremendous windstorm, and Vidyut means thunderbolt. The gopis tell Sri Krishna, "By holding Giriraj Govardhan on the tip of your smallest finger, you protected us from Indra's inundation of rain, fierce tempest, and furious hurling of thunderbolts. In fact, you not only protected us, you overwhelmed us with great happiness at that time." The word analata means from fire. Krishna saved the Vrajvasis from two great fires, one of which took place in the forest near Vrindävana. There, in the shade of a massive banyan tree known as Bhandiravata, Krishna was playing with his cowherd friends as the cows drank the water of the Yamuna and grazed on the lush green grass. Gradually, the cows wandered away from Krishna and the boys and entered Munjatavi, the forest of prickly munja plants that was some distance away. It was summer, and the scorching heat dried the forest, which was so dense that the cows lost track of the path by which they had come. Overwhelmed with thirst and heat, they became most perturbed. The cowherd boys began to search for the cows, and in doing so, they left Krishna and Balarama. They entered Munjatavi and, like the cows, became agitated by excessive thirst and intense heat. It was then that the wicked Kansa's servant, who had been hiding in the forest, set the grass and trees ablaze. Within a moment, a wind flushed the fire throughout the area, leaving both the cows and cowherd boys caught in its center. Seeing no other means of escape, they all began to cry out to Krishna and Balarama. Immediately, upon hearing their distressed call, Krishna and Balarama came in the midst. "Close your eyes for just a moment," Krishna told them, and in that moment he swallowed the terrible forest fire. The boys considered why Krishna might have told them to close their eyes. Krishna must know a mantra for putting out fire, they thought, and maybe that mantra can only be recited in a very secluded place. If we shut our eyes, he will feel that he is alone. There was another reason why Krishna told them to close their eyes. Once before, when he was still a baby, the boys had seen him eating earth, and they had complained about it to Mother Yashoda. So now he thought, if they see me eating fire, they will complain to Mother again, and she will punish me. Besides this, if my friends see me swallowing the entire fire, they will think that I will surely burn up, and their life air will depart. When, after a moment, the boys opened their eyes, they saw themselves once again standing with Krishna and Balarama in the cooling shade of Bhandira butter, their cows peacefully lying nearby and chewing their cud. Was that a dream? They wondered in amazement. Referring to this forest fire, the gopis now say, "You protected us at that time." By these words they imply, if all the cowherd boys had died in the fire, their fathers and mothers would have died also from grief, and we gopis would also have died. By protecting all of Vraja in this way, you protected us all. With the phrase visha-jaläpyayäd, the gopis mention yet another instance of Krishna protecting them. Visha-jaläpyayäd refers to two demons, Vatasura and Vyumasura. The word Vrisha refers to Vrishabhasura, another name of Arishta Sura, the gigantic bull demon, and the word Atmajad means son. Conjoined with Vrisha, Atmajad refers to the son of Vrishabhasura, namely the calf demon Vatasura. Atmajad is also conjoined with the word Maya, thus referring to the son of the demon Maya named Vyumasura, whom Krishna killed in Kamyavan. When Krishna first began taking the calves out to graze in Vrindävana, Vatasura appeared in their midst. As soon as Krishna and Baldeva saw him, they understood that he was not one of their calves but a demon in disguise, and they crafted a plan to kill him. They innocently wandered over to him, and then Krishna grabbed his two hind legs and whirled him around and around above his head. Vatasura then assumed his original ghastly gigantic form, at which time Krishna hurled him into a tree. Seeing Vatasura's enormous size, the cowherd boys became filled with fear and exclaimed, "He came in the shape of a beautiful calf, but just see his actual form." Vatasura's father, the gigantic bull demon Arishtasura, was killed by Krishna at Radhakunda. Arishtasura was certainly sinful, so one may wonder how could he have entered the pristine area of Radhakunda. He was able to do so only because Yogmaya permitted him to enter in order to facilitate Krishna's pastime of killing him and subsequently intensifying the gopis' prema. He had entered the village of Vrindavan when Krishna was eager to perform rasa. Krishna killed him and protected all the gopis, and then rasa dance began. Krishna also protected the gopis from the demon Shankachud, who tried to kidnap them by driving them along with a stick as if they were she-goats, finally taking Srimati Radhika upon his shoulders. One may wonder how it is possible for a demon to touch Srimati Radhika, and the answer is that in order to facilitate Krishna's human-like pastimes or Nar Leela, Yog Maya arranges miraculous incidents. Actually, it was not possible for Shankachud to touch Srimati Radhika. Since Krishna can do anything, the form of Shankachuda may have been a manifestation of Krishna himself. Sometimes, with the purpose of making Radhika run into his arms, he may frighten her by assuming the form of a serpent. He performs unlimited pastimes such as these, and according to his desire, Yog Maya makes all necessary arrangements. Shri Krishna protected his associates from the horse demon Keshi, the cart demon Shaktasura, the crane demon Bakasura, and ass demon Dhenukasura, and so many others. The gopis continue, Rishab te vayam rakshitamuhu. You've shielded us from myriad of calamities and from innumerable terrifying forms of death. But now you are killing us. If you desire to kill us now, why did you protect us on so many other occasions? In his Sararth Darshini commentary, Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarti Thakur reveals the meaning of the gopis' words. We are dying due to the effects of your 5 arrows. We have come to you for protection, but we find that your 5 arrows have merely increased our kama or divine passion and the burning of our hearts. Krishna himself is Kamadeva, the transcendental Cupid. He has enchanted the gopis by shooting at them the arrows of his lotus eyes and by his mellifluous flute playing, his beautiful lips, his solitary talks with them, and his broad chest. He is addressed in the Kama Gayatri mantra as Pushpabana. He also shoots the flower arrows that enamor the gopis. This transcendental Kamadeva can enchant the mind of the Kamadeva of this world, and therefore the gopis appeal to him to extinguish the fire caused by Kamadeva's 5 arrows. The gopis say, at present we see that you are Vishwas-ghati, a betrayer of another's faith. The inherent meaning of the Sanskrit word Vishwas-ghati is conveyed with the following words. I slept with my head in your lap, fully trusting that you would protect me, but while I slept, you took a sword and killed me. In this mood, the gopis are saying, you protected us many times in the past, so we trusted that you would surely protect us now. Having given up everything we have and offering you our very existence, we came to you. But now you callously betray us. Even though we are dying, you do not protect us. Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarti Thakur says that some of the pastimes the gopis mention here will actually take place after Ras Leela. We would expect the gopis to talk about events that took place before Ras Leela, but how can they speak about future incidents? Srila Chakravarti Thakur explains that these future events were common knowledge to the gopis. They had heard about them long before from Purnamashi Devi, Gargacharya, Bhaguri Rishi, and other sages. They had also heard from many persons about Krishna's horoscope, and they are now repeating what they had heard. Srila Jiva Gosvami says that Srila Shukadev Goswami, in his description of the gopis' Purvarag up to Ras Leela, that is Srimad Bhagavatam 10:21-33, was in a very rasik mood. Consequently, he related only Sri Krishna's sweet loving pastimes. He did not relate Krishna's pastimes of killing of demons, which by ordinary estimation may be considered cruel or unpleasant. He recounted the gopis' Purvaraga, Krishna's beautiful pastimes, with the wives of the Brahmanas or Yagna Patnis. his lifting Giriraj Govardhan and his pastimes with the cowherd boys and gopis in autumn and summer. Srila Jiva Gosvami says that because of Srila Shukadeva Goswami's deep mood, there were occasions when he rearranged the chronology of his narrations according to that mood. Consequently, he recounted certain pastimes of Krishna killing demons after he described Rasa Leela, when in fact they took place beforehand. The explanation given by Srila Jiva Goswami seems to contradict that of Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarti Thakur, but both explanations are correct. In different kalpas or millennia, Krishna performs his pastimes in different sequences. As mentioned earlier, the gopis accuse Krishna of being a betrayer of faith or vishwasaghati. From ancient Indian history, I will now relate a story to illustrate the grief arising from the betrayal of faith. The great Buddhist king Ashoka of India built a university called visha-jaläpyayäd in the very beautiful hilly region named Nalanda near Patna. At that time, Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya was quite famous. Students came there from all over the world to study Vedanta and all other schools of philosophy. One of the students was Kumarila Bhatta. Kumarila Bhatta was an 8th century Hindu philosopher and Mimamsa scholar from Prayaga. He is known to have defeated many Buddhist scholars of his time in philosophical debates. He, from his childhood, had studied the Vedas, Upanishads, Smriti, and other scriptures. He had also studied Karma Mimamsa philosophy, and now he wanted to study Buddhism in order to defeat it. Knowing him to be very intelligent, the university authorities willingly admitted him. He studied there for 12 years, and by his final year, his scholarship was famous. One day, as the Buddhist principal was teaching a class, he recited a verse from the Vedas and then explained it in a way that contradicted the actual meaning. He mocked the ideas of the Vedas, calling them bogus. When Kumarila Bhatta heard this, he began to weep. "He's crying?" The other students commented. "Perhaps he is a Vaishnava or a member of some other sect." In any case, it is obvious that he is not a Buddhist. The principal of the school called for Kumarila Bhatta and asked, "Why are you weeping?" "Your explanation is contradictory and useless," Kumarila Bhatta said. "This is not the actual meaning of the cited verse." "Please give your explanation, then," the teacher said. Kumarila Bhatta explained the verse wonderfully, but when he finished, his fellow students were resentful and conspired to kill him. Accosting him, they seized him and took him to the top of a tall building. "We are going to throw you off," they told him. "If your God is really true, and if the Vedas are also true, you will be protected. Otherwise, you will simply die." Kumarila Bhatta concurred. "You are correct," he said. "If the Vedas speak the absolute truth, and if my God is real, then no harm will come to me." They threw him from the building onto the ground below, and they ran down, fully confident that they would find him dead. Instead, they saw him walking and talking, uninjured except for a broken finger. They firmly took hold of him and asked derisively, "If you were actually fully protected, why did your finger get broken?" "I made the mistake of saying, 'If my God is real,'" he replied. "Had I not said 'if,' I would not have been injured at all." Kumarila Bhatta soon preached so boldly against Buddhism that it was driven out of India into China and various other places. While Shankaracharya's philosophy helped achieve this to some degree, the real credit for driving Buddhism out of India belongs to Kumarila Bhatta. Despite his accomplishments, Kumarila Bhatta deeply grieved in his last days for what he saw as a great mistake. The principal of that university was my guru, he thought. At the end of his life, he was tormented by the thought that an insignificant disciple had defeated him, and he died of grief. "I am vishwasaghati. I have betrayed my Guru who taught me so much. He helped me to make my life successful. He gave me the knowledge which I used to drive Buddhism out of India. And yet I betrayed him. Desiring to atone for what he considered to be his sin, he made a pile of rice husks and set fire to it. When rice husks burn, they smolder and look as though they are not burning. Flames will only appear if the fire is fanned. Kumarila Bhatta lay down on that pile of smouldering rice husks and burned as if he were being slowly cooked. Although in extreme pain, he remained lying there. At that time, Sri Shankaracharya's followers approached him and said, "I have come to beg something from you." "What do you wish for?" Kumarila Bhatta asked. "I beg you to come out of this fire and debate with me on the new Advaitavad philosophy devised by Shankaracharya, which is so beautiful. I want to defeat you because you are a Smarta and you believe in the Vedas." "I'm dying now. I don't want to pollute my mouth with Advaitavada," Kumarila Bhatta replied. "Please go away. I will not talk about this non-Vedic philosophy," he uttered as his life slipped away. This is an historical fact. It is not directly relevant to Gopi Gita, but I wanted to take this opportunity to relate it. You should know this history because it will help you understand how the preaching of Vedanta developed. From the footnotes, Advaitavad, the doctrine of non-dualism and monism, propagated by Sri Shankaracharya, that propagates the fallacy that the living entities and God are one in all respects. Smarta, an orthodox Brahmin who rigidly adheres to the Smriti, Shastra and the codes of religious behavior, being overly attached to the external rituals without comprehending the underlying essence of the Vedic scriptures.